What is up, you guys? You're watching Sergio's Secret, and before I get started with today's video, if you can please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe button. I post a video every single day on designer and contemporary fashion, and today's video is going to be a story time. So you guys have been loving my story time. Every time I kind of talk to you about a lot of different topics and a lot of different things. Today we're going to be talking about my first job, what was it, and how did I was able to afford my first Louis Vuitton handbag at the age of 16, I believe. I feel like these years have been going by so fast, but I'm going to be telling you my story time working at Chick-fil-A and how I got my money and what I learned through those experiences of me working at Chick-fil-A. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Gloomy outside. It's kind of a rainy day here in Dallas, so I decided to just come out here and then just kind of I decided just to come out here and just to kind of just talk to you guys. I'm gonna end up filming right here sitting down. Prepare yourself, but you can see by this video it is going to be a long one because I talk demasiado mucho. So let's go ahead and get started. So growing up for myself, I'm going to talk about why I love handbags and why I love it all, and you will see my hustling and how my first bag meant the world to me. So I will be giving like a little talk of a little bit in the past before I actually kind of get with the story. So hopefully you guys, like I said, love this, and I would, if you guys can relate, or if you guys know what I like, you know what the gigs are, I would definitely, you know, love to hear your story down below, or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. For me, designer bags or just items in general has always been a lot for me. I am somebody that loves fashion so much. Like, I remember, you know, like every time I would go to Mexico, I would make my aunts and my cousins buy me like Vogue magazines, Elle magazines, and I've always wanted to feel included in something. And for me, in high school, elementary, junior high, my entire, you know, career of, you know, being in school, I felt like I was never included in anything. I always felt like for myself I was always left out. I feel like, you know, I didn't fit in. Guys, I didn't really fit in, you know, in the music group or in the athletic group or, you know, whatever. I felt like I just never felt like I fit in high school. And so my outlet and my response to that fashion, you know, me going onto YouTube and finding, you know, videos of hauls or story times or just things that I can look up to or aspiring is what I've always loved. And I've always felt like I felt included in that, you know, as me being a viewer, me consuming, you know, content on a magazine or you know, on the Purse forum. That's how I've always been like that. I felt like for me, my happy place has always been fashion, and particularly more into the contemporary designer space. So like I said, I didn't have a connection with a lot of people in high school and junior high and elementary. So for me, I would always find that outlet in me feeling like I'm worthy, or I feel included in something, because us as humans, we love to feel included, and every time we feel excluded, it's just not a good feeling. So fashion was what it was for me. So one particular family was just always so fabulous, always put together. Every time, you know, wherever she went, she would always dress up, like blazers, jackets, dresses, you know, always look professional, always look clean. Even if this person's just going to CVS or to Walgreens or Walmart, you know, just always dress up, just have this persona, have this aura. And so for me, I've always wanted to aspire to be like her. I want to be independent. I want to make a statement. I want to see that, you know, things are possible. And so I feel like that's something that I take a lot from even today. So for myself, like, you know, I wear a blazer, you know, I wear, you know, trousers. I like to put loafers on. I like to dress up. I don't like to be in pajamas, you know, when I'm not sleeping. I always like to feel elevated. I always like to feel like myself, you know what I mean? So I feel like that kind of also shaped a lot for me. And so just fashion has always just been something that I can always rely on, because I didn't get that action from other human beings in my real life, because no one really could understand me, if you know what I mean. Like, I just felt like my parents didn't understand me, none of my family members understood me. I had no friends. I mean, I did have like teachers and little things here and there, but not into the emotional connection that I'm looking for. And for me, I will say I love this YouTube channel so much, and it brings me so much joy to help you guys make a decision in a handbag or just anything. I just love the interaction and me knowing that I help somebody out, regardless if it's just a small tip or if it's a handbag recommendation, you know, just knowing that, it just makes me absolutely the happiest human being ever. And so always wanted a designer handbag. So I believe when I was 14, I bought my first handbag, and it was a Coach men's camera bag. And I just remember that I just always wanted a Coach bag, but I will talk about my designer because that one's the one that's going to take the most portion of it. But I remember I just always wanted a Coach bag, and mom has always been the type of person that, you know, she's a mom, and I always see everything happens for a reason, and I always see where people are coming from. And I felt like my mom always wanted me to be more masculine, or be more somebody that I wasn't. And I felt like my parents and my family members always wanted that for me, and I didn't want that for myself. So, you know, I remember when I got my first handbags, you know, my mom was telling me, oh, don't buy this one, that one's, you know, you have to buy one from the men's section, because I remember I wanted one from the women's section. The men's bag, I mean, I did really like it, I really enjoyed it because I did pick it out and I did get my wear on it. But those are just like little micro things that would happen, and things that I would think in my head. And like I said, that's for your children, so I'm never going to come in place from hate or, oh, this and that. I see where they come from, you know what I mean? My first Coach handbag, I remember it was from the Coach outlet, and I believe it was like $80 with tax. And I remember I had change. Yes guys, I paid like $20 in change, and I paid all in like $1 bills, $2 bills, like when every time my parents gave me lunch money. Or I think I sold maybe like 2 things like on eBay or something. Like I would put like my mom's information, I would sell things myself. So I just barely had enough money to buy the handbag. And I remember, I believe it was during the summertime, and it was, I remember because I posted it, bought it, and it was during the summertime. And I took it to Monterrey, and I just felt me carrying the handbag just made me feel some type of way. I felt so independent, I felt so free, I felt like Cara Delevingne, I felt like Adriana Lima. I just felt like the girl that's on the go, the girl that can do anything and everything. And for me, that's what I loved about handbags, or fashion in general, because I feel like I've been suppressed for such a long time, for me to be a certain way, to have these certain standards, that I can't think this way, that I can't do that way. And that, like I said, that goes for family members, that goes for school, that goes for society, that goes for everything. And so me having that handbag made me feel a type of way that I've never felt, and I just automatically felt so confident in me just having that Coach handbag. So I had that bag, and when I was 16, I knew that I wanted to work. That's something that I've always wanted, because I never like to rely on people. Even to this day, I don't ask my parents for money, I don't ask nobody for money. I'm 100% independent on myself. I work super hard, and for me, last resort will always be asking somebody for money, because I always take care of myself financially. And that's why I always talk about being financially free, you know, having financial freedom. Because with financial freedom, having no debt, having no, you know, burdens on you, you can do anything you want, and even mentally, spiritually, you feel a lot better. So like I said, I don't have a car note, you know, I can pay a year's worth of rent. I can, you know, right now, if I want to go to Chicago next week, I can do that, you know what I mean, because I'm position myself in a way to be successful. So I know at the age of 16, once I could legally work, I was going to work. You know, I've been offered, like, you know, when I was younger, I got offered like jobs under the table. For me, I didn't really want to do that. Well, like I said, I waited to actually get like a W-2 form and everything. So Chick-fil-A, which was where I ended up being employed at, was hiring. It was like on some Tuesday or Thursday where they do open interviews, and I just, you know, one thing I will say about myself is that I felt like I always aced interviews all the time. So for me, I went in there with a smile, and they called me for a second interview, and I ended up getting the job. I knew that I was going to get the job, and I knew that I was going to be determined. So when I worked at Chick-fil-A, which was when I was 16, I was getting paid $7.50, guys. I know right now they pay like $13, but I was getting paid $7.50, like right under like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You know, time flies, tiempo pasa de volada. So I got the job, and I remember I got my uniform and everything. So I was happy. My parents were not really happy that I got a job, because I feel like they knew what was gonna happen. They knew that I was going to be independent. They knew that I was going to do my own thing. And once, you know, you have certain things, you can move on to the next thing. So I felt like they felt some type of way with it. I ended up starting my first day, And I remember I was just working and I was trying to get all the shifts that I could get, work extra hours. I would be like the last one to clock out, like if it was an extra 10 minutes. I remember I would stay there just to have those extra cents. And I remember I saved and I saved and I saved almost every single penny. And around that time too, I think, because my birthday is September 4th, and I think school starts like the last week of August. So I started selling candy in high school, and I remember I had like, I put like my dad's social or something, and so I put like his, like that little square app. Like back then I think I had the iPhone 6, and so I had the little square, and I would like put squares, and I would every Sunday, I remember I would make my parents, because Chick-fil-A was closed on Sunday, I would make them take me to Sam's Club and restock on candy. So I remember I would like hustle, like I would bring like $60 worth of food, and I would sell it all throughout the day. Like I will sell. I would go up to everybody during lunch. I wouldn't even have lunches for myself. I wouldn't even eat. I would literally go to every table. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? No cash, no problem. I'll take your debit card. So I was really hustling. And so when I wanted to work at Chick-fil-A, I knew that I wanted it because I liked that, you know, that little bit of money that I was making. So I think I was making like $60 a day, and half of it was profit, and half of it went back to buying candy. So a week's worth, you know, with the full 5 days, excluding like a holiday, I would make $300, $150 for myself, and then I would, you know, put that $150 towards, you know, candy or whatever. And so every time like maybe like Sam's did like a little coupon or like a little event where it's like $3 off, I would like stock up in that item so I could save those couple of dollars. So I used to be like so like everything by the penny, and like $150 a week, and I just felt like such an independent person, and that's like, you know, equivalent to like $600 a month. And now that I look at it, you know, $600 is a lot of money, but it definitely goes to show where I came from. So I was making like $600 from that. A lot of my teachers knew about it, and a lot of my teachers were like a little bit more younger, so they would just kind of like tell me, they kind of appreciate the hustle. They said, you know, I'm gonna act like I didn't see that, but if someone does tell me, are you somebody higher than the teacher, then they would have to disclose that information. But nobody had a problem, like no one really snitched. I mean, there was like people that tried to, but for the most part, everything kind of got swept under the rug. And like I said, I would sell through the product. I would get there to school super early. I would sell the items super fast. So I would go through the items, and I remember I just had like a lot of cash always on me. And so when I worked at Chick-fil-A, it was the same thing. Like I would go to school, sell my candy, and honestly I would focus more on that than my actual school work. For me, I always loved education, but for me, I knew that me not going to college was, I already knew that from the beginning of my freshman year. I knew that I didn't want to go to college. It's my decision. I hopefully you guys respect it. You know, I may go to like a technical school later on in the future, but you know, like I knew that I wasn't going to go into there, even though I was like submitting college applications and everything up to my that I wasn't going to be for me. So I would focus on that, and then I would focus on working at Chick-fil-A. I remember I would have to wear the uniform, and my uniform would smell so bad, guys. Like it would smell so bad, and like I would get so embarrassed, guys. Like there's a few things that I do get embarrassed of, you know, what back then. Now I don't really care. But one of the things that I get so embarrassed was where people that I knew from high school would come to the drive-thru, because I would work a lot during the drive-thru. So they put me on the drive-thru cash register, and then apparently I did like the headset, and then I started going outside during that, you know, kind of like the days that were really pretty on the weekends. So about 24 hours or 25 hours, and my checks were looking something, wasn't working a lot, and I believe my checks every 2 weeks were looking about like 300 and some change. So like I said, it was probably 600 for the month, and then 600 from selling candy. So it was like $1,200, and you cannot tell me anything, guys. Like in high, like I said, I didn't really have any friends. Like I didn't go to a prom. I graduated early from high school. I would get bullied, and that's a whole other story. But you couldn't tell me anything. I felt such an independent queen at 16, having $1,200 a month, and you know, just feeling myself and having that money in my bank account, and you know, just seeing it made me just so happy, because it goes to show you, like, you know, if you hustle, if you work hard, if you work smart, you can get whatever you want. And that applies to me even right now that I'm 20. I do, you know, hustle. I do kind of, you know, work and do my thing. I always take references from things from my past, for my future, and you know, I don't know where I'll be in 2 years from now, but the thing about life is that you will never know where you'll end up at. So I would sell, and I would get embarrassed whenever teachers came through the drive-thru, and students came through the drive-thru, people that I knew. There's people in my high school that didn't like me for particular reasons, you know, small stuff, and record me in the drive-thru. Back then Snapchat was very popular. I know it's still popular now, but it was super popular back then, and they would just kind of like put the laughing emojis and just like a lot of little small things like that. Or I would work at the dining room and then they would like take pictures of me cleaning the restroom, you know, just like that. I mean, it happened a couple of occasions. I think I worked at Chick-fil-A for like 9 months. It did really get to me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I would go home and I would cry, and it's not that I was embarrassed, it was just like they made it seem like a bad thing. And now looking at it, you know, I don't really have a lot of time in my hands because I'm usually the person and the girl that's always on the go. Weeks ago, like, I looked at certain people's Facebooks and just did a little bit of research, just like 20 minutes on some of those people that I look back out now that, you know, used to kind of like, you know, used to kind of things about me. You know, they used to say, you know, Sergio's broke, Sergio's poor, and I would get bullied a lot. Like, he's selling candy because you know, just the worst things ever that I don't even want to say because I don't know, I feel like I blocked a lot of things out of my life that were from that time in my life. So, you know, there was times where I would cry and I would feel less than, just because, you know, you're in high school, you're growing a lot, you're going through puberty and a lot of things are happening. And, you know, like I said, at 18 or 17, you have to make a decision if you want to get yourself into hundreds of thousands worth of debt, if you want to go into school, like your career choice, like, you know, a lot of things happen and you also grow a lot as a person. So that did take a big toll on me. It's like the little ridicules, or like even some of my coworkers gave me such a hard time because I was the youngest one. Said things about my jobs that I've had, I've always been really great at. And I remember I would get like the Chick-fil-A cows, I would win the contest, selling cookies, selling the most shakes, making customers write like reviews or like handwritten notes. I didn't like that for my work, for my job, that were people that were like 25, 24, you know, 30. People did not like that. People felt like they were threatened by a 16-year-old guy that was super it's just kind of like there to do a good job and to leave and to keep it moving. About my first bag, so for me, you know, once I started getting a job and everything, I knew that I kind of wanted to be like a YouTuber, a blogger-ish. That's like a whole other story time. I used to have like a YouTube channel that all those videos are deleted, but I used to have a YouTube channel like when I was 16 and stuff, and that's a whole other story. But where like I bought a camera, I think I bought my laptop first because I didn't have my own laptop. I just had an iPhone, and I feel like I just wanted to watch YouTube all day, and I feel like me having my laptop made me feel so complete. And so I remember I went on eBay and I bought it, and it was like brand new, like the person, like, it was such a really good deal too, a MacBook Pro. And so I bought it, and then I knew that I wanted to get a handbag next. So for me, I always wanted a Louis Vuitton bag as my first bag. You know, now I'm not the biggest fan of Louis Vuitton. I feel like that was the most attainable for myself, and I knew that's something that I would love a lot. And I was a sophomore in high school when this happened. I remember I was looking at the Louis Vuitton brand new bags, and I was just telling myself like, I don't think I can afford this, or I just don't want all my money to go into that and have nothing in my bank account. I also didn't want to be that type of person that, you know, on a weekend just blows all their money and are like, you know, don't have any more money for the rest of the week, for the rest of the month, or till they get paid again. So I didn't want to do that, where I wanted to spend all my money and, you know, be left with anything. So I ended up going on this website called Fashionphile, which you guys already know. I talk about Fashionphile a lot, but back then I didn't really know a lot about it. And I think I saw like Drusha Couture, some YouTuber, do like some video and like talk about Fashionphile, and that's what made me want to, you know, look at their website. What I did for myself is I saw the Louis Vuitton bag, and I'll try to look at my order history. If not, this is the bag that I ended up getting. It's a Louis Vuitton bag, and I remember back then, I don't know if they still do that now, where you can get an alert when the item gets discounted. So back then, I believe now it's like random when the item gets discounted, but back then it was a set 14 days at a certain time period, the item would instantly get discounted. So I remember this bag was $1,000, and I remember that it was discounted 10% off, and then it was gonna get discounted again like a week. So I ended up, you know, ordering it. I waited the week and I purchased the handbag, and I remember I did a one-day ship for them, and I had to use my mom's card, and I remember I gave her the money for it in cash because like I said, I had a lot of cash back. And so my mom was like, what are you buying, like whatever, and I didn't tell her. And I remember that day that the one-day ship, when I bought it, I think I skipped school that day because I did a one-day ship and they do confirm signature on everything. So I knew that I wanted to, you know, have the bag with me. I wanted to carry it, I wanted to get it. And so I forgot to mention the bag was hot stamped as well, like somebody's random initial. The bag back then that I wanted, this one right here, was like $1,500, and it was $800, and back then there was no tax. Now they do tax now here in Texas, but back then it was just like a straight, I believe exactly, it was $796. I remember it to this day. I have the receipt probably somewhere. And so I think I didn't even work that day too. I think I was off, and I remember I skipped school, and I saw the bag, I get delivered, and I was so happy, guys. Like I remember like when I got my first designer bag, like I said, from Fashion File, somebody else's, you know, hot stamps on it, somebody's initials. I forgot what the initials were. That was like so embarrassing when I would use the other bag and it had somebody's random initials, but we'll talk about that in a second. I got the bag, and I remember I took a picture, so I went to the picture here. I just started crying, guys. Like it was just so emotional for me, you know, to go through everything and to have people like bully me, and I was like in a confused time, and then, you know, just issues with like my parents. When I saw it, I think it kind of put a stop, and it kind of let me know that I can have anything I want, I can do whatever I want. At the end of the day, it's my life and my choice, and you know, I'll be laughing, you know, later down the road, and you know, looking at these moments where I did really struggle, where I really was going through the gigs, and you know, just look at it and just think about it, and just know that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, let's say for example now, present time 2020, you're all right and you're doing super well for yourself. So I did get very emotional, I did cry, and I just couldn't believe I had the bag. And I had the bag and I carried it everywhere I went, guys. There was not a day where I did not use this bag. I remember I took it to BeautyCon. I remember I took it to Chick-fil-A. I took it to school. So basically I would have like a little folder, my MacBook inside the Louis Vuitton bag. I would wear it as a crossbody because it had the longer strap, and I remember I had a big duffel, and I would sell my candy there. So I would have two bags. I wanted to wear my Louis Vuitton bag, and honestly nobody could tell me anything. I think at that moment when I got the bag, I think something switched in my head where I knew it was like, I don't care what other people say about me, because at the end of the day, it's my life, and you don't know what those people are going through behind the scenes, using their behavior things. And so once I got the bag, nobody could tell me anything, guys. Like I just was feeling myself, like I just felt so good. And every time like I worked at Chick-fil-A, everyone was telling me, oh my god, you bought this Louis Vuitton bag. And I remember I would lock the bag because it had a little lock on it, and I remember I would face it the way, because we had lockers, but they were like small lockers. So I remember I would face the bag, not showing the initials of the bag, because I didn't want nobody to ask, what initials are those, what are those initials for? So that was just so fun. I had the bag, and nobody could tell me anything, and that's how I got my first bag, guys. I think first handbag is financial freedom is definitely important, guys. I think financial freedom will get you anywhere in life. Being in debt is not cute. Being in debt is not fun. You know, maybe cute in that moment, go buy a Chanel bag on a credit card, or a Dior bag, or buy yourself a brand new Mercedes, or whatever expense you. Being in debt is not a cute thing, guys. I've seen people my age, I know people that are a lot older that have hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of credit card debt, or just even like $10,000. That is not cute, guys. And I think that's the biggest learning lesson, if you guys want to take something from this video, is to be too free mentally, physically, and you know, your credit score will get you anywhere in life. As far as here in the States, like that really does matter here, unfortunately, a number of your credit. And also another thing I would say is, you know, if you're going through the gigs, if you're going through something, or you feel like you feel like your life sucks right now. There's like, I feel like my life, you know, sucked. Like it did have its ups and downs moments. A lot of things happened, and now I feel like the last year of my life, I feel super happy and I feel super content with myself. Like I just feel like I can own anything. I feel like I can do anything I want to with my life, and it's a long time to get here, guys. You know, this is not something that you feel one day when you wake up, you know what I mean? This is something that takes progression, and don't, I've had many phases in my life, but the person that I'm becoming, I feel like the person I was a couple years ago was like super shy. I feel like I'm still a super shy person. Sometimes a lot of people confuse my shyness as like cocky, or like, oh, I don't want to talk to you or something like that. I'm just such a shy person in general. Like when like guys approach me, or like when I talk to people, like I get, like if you guys have met me in person, you know, I get so shy at first. Once I kind of have that one interaction, like I will probably ask me like a question or something, and I feel like that will kind of start the conversation. Then I start talking and talking and talking and talking, but that's who I am. But yeah, I always get asked what was my first handbag, how did I get it, and that's how I got it, guys. I was working at Chick-fil-A, $7.50. You know, I would work outside, I would be cooking, they would feed me because I would get $8 worth of free food, so I was fed. I pretty much got along with everybody, and at the end of the night, like any extra food I get to have, and I get to take it and eat it home, and then where I could give it to my brother. I really like working there. My time was very good, and I did learn a lot of lessons about how money doesn't come easily. You have to work smart in this life, and you have to hustle to get where you want to be, because no one's else is gonna do it for you but yourself. I learned a lot in selling candy in high school. Also learned that, you know, if you hustle, you know, if you do your thing to position yourself in a way to be successful, you will get anywhere where you want. And yeah, guys, that's my story time of how I got my Coach bag, and then how I got my Louis Vuitton bag. Got my Louis Vuitton bag, I don't know, something just switched in me, and it's not even about the Vuitton bag. I think just me knowing that I could purchase it, and me, something that I wanted for such a long time, because I remember I would want a Louis Vuitton bag, or I would just want a designer bag so bad. I remember just going on the website, going into the store, and just like dreaming and thinking about one day, you know, I'll be that girl. I'll be that girl that will go to like the fashion shows, the girl that will, the it girl, like, you know, that's how I always wanted to be or view myself as. And you know, I mean, now looking at my closet, you know, I'm super blessed to say I have so many different handbags in my collection, and that I'm healthy, that I'm happy, that, you know, I live a very comfortable lifestyle, and that's something that I will never take for granted. And who knows, you know, but who knows, I may be one of those it girls where, you know, I do go to the fashion weeks, I'm in the front cover of the magazines. Like, I'm always such an optimistic person. Sometimes when I get nervous, I like play around with stuff. But you know, I will say before I end this video, because I know I've been talking so much, but one thing I will say is I never tell myself that I could never achieve anything. Like, let's say, I don't know, let's say you want a handbag, and if I see somebody have that handbag and I compliment them, I will never be like, I can never have that, that's too expensive. Or if I see somebody's car, or somebody's, you know, shoes, or somebody traveling, I never say, oh, I will never go to Paris because I can never afford it, I could never, like this and that. And you're putting yourself down, and you're putting the energy down there. Myself personally, I've always been like, I will always, one day I will get that Hermes Birkin, one day I will get those Troy Birch Miller sandals, one day I will get that Cartier watch. I just don't know when, I don't know the time frame, but I know eventually I'll get it. I always tell people, never tell yourself you're not going to do this, you're not, because you're just speaking it into existence. For myself, I just always tell myself I will get it, and I will achieve anything I want. I just particularly don't know the time frame. Like, tell somebody like, this is where I see myself in 6 months. That's something that I also did want to say, is never tell yourself that you'll never be able to own a home, you'll never be able to, you know, graduate from college. Like, you're speaking that to existence. Where there's a will, there's a way, and there's a smart way, and there's a way between doing things super quick and super fast money, and there's a thing where you can work smart and work hard, and you feel happy and you feel satisfied with your life and within yourself. So I did want to say that. Is that all I wanted to say? That I always knew that I was going to have a YouTube channel. I always knew that I wanted to be a blogger, that I always wanted to be kind of a YouTuber. You know, for myself, like, I've always seen myself like, you know, just being that kind of girly. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I am in that track for that. I'm a little bit in the baby stages, but I see myself, you know, 6 months from now, I don't know where I'll be. I may be the top girl right there, or still progressing. I really don't know, but one thing for sure is I'm gonna get there one way or another. And yeah, guys, I want to say thank you so much, guys. This video was kind of all over the place, but I know you guys like it when I talk a lot, and you guys get to know a little bit more about me, where I come from. And that's why I sat down a little bit with more natural lighting, and just like one light right here. I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit more personable. Any questions, comments, you want to ask me anything, the video every single day on designer and contemporary fashion. And so if you have any questions, leave it down below. Any video requests, leave them down below, and let me know what your first designer handbag is, or what do you want your first designer handbag. And you know, never tell yourself you can never have anything, because in this life, baby, it's just you. When you die, you know, life's gonna go. You know, Michael Jackson was a legend, such a beautiful legend, but you know, he passed, and you know, eventually, you know, he was a legend, but you know, life moves on. You know, people have to continue. Prince, you know, all these other celebrities, or you know, just people in life. So that's all I can say, is just live your life and live your truth. And at the end of the day, you know, when you're in your deathbed, I think that's all you can say, is that you lived your truth and you made an impact on people's lives, and that you earth a little bit of a better place than you found it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. Los quiero mucho, guys. Bye, guys, and take care. I love each and every single one of you, and you are loved.